Hello all, welcome to another episode of The Speaking Tree from the Times of India newspaper. Today is 14th November and I am your host Pawan. So let's begin. Today's topic is what is in the name? Indian, Hindi or Hind? Zohran Mamdani, the first person of Indian origin to be elected as mayor of New York, in his victory speech, quoting Jawaharlal Nehru's famous Tryst with Destiny speech, categorically expressed his commitment to reject the Western paradigm of power politics and promote transformative and positive social action, a typically Indian notion. According to Jawaharlal Nehru, the correct term to refer to everything commonly Indian is the word Hind or Hindi, which is the shortened form of Hindustani. He upheld that in the countries of Western Asia, in Iran and Turkey, in Iraq, Afghanistan, Egypt, and elsewhere, India has been referred to and is still called Hind, and everything Indian is called Hindi. In US and Europe, the relatively recent term Indian is used to refer to our country, its culture, our historical continuity of our various traditions. The advantage of using term Hind or Hindi, the Nehru argued, was that this usage was a religious, that is, it had nothing to do with religion. A Muslim or a Christian can be as much a Hind or Hindi as person who follow Hinduism. However, he was fully aware that the word Hindi come from has become associated in India with particular script, the Devanagari script of Sanskrit. So it had become difficult to use it in its larger and more natural significance. Her hoped that when present-day controversies subside, we may revert to its original and more satisfying use. Nehru realized that modern science does not help in moments of existential crisis. When we are faced with real life dilemmas, when we are tortured by conflicts of duties, it is because science explains phenomena in the material world and tells us nothing about the purpose and meaning of life. A study of humanities in general and philosophy in particular enlightens us about the crises we face in our political, social, religious, and economic spheres, especially in our spiritual lives. Nehru argued Hind or Hindi thinking as much superior to philosophies that originated in other parts of world. So Nehru was very curious to find out the nature and scope of Hind or Hindi culture, religion, philosophy, metaphysics, mysticism, and spirituality. In his discovery of India, Nehru categorically wrote, if I were asked under what sky the human mind has most fully developed, some of its choicest gifts has most deeply pondered over the greatest problems of life and has found solution of some of them which have deserved the attention even of those who have studied Plato and Kant. I should point to India. He upheld that Indian philosophy is living philosophy as it answers the problems of today. Nehru was deeply influenced by writings of Bertrand Russell, Lenin, and also G. M. Trevelyan's Garibaldi books. He was also impressed by the apparent material achievement of Western nations, especially Soviet Union and Europe. Thus convinced, he developed a rationalist materialist and humanist mindset. Nehru's rationalistic thinking outrightly rejected revelation as a source of religion. This thinking, in combination with his observation of religious practices, led him to conclude that religion inevitably results in superstitions, belief in the supernatural, bigotry, exploitation, and preservation of vested interest, prejudices, and dogmatic beliefs. Nehru argued that people who are slaves to dogma and dogmatic mentality cannot progress. Nehru ardently believed in promoting scientific temper, modern education and industrialization.